How's it going, everybody? This is the Erroneous One here with a new Kingdom Hearts Union Cross update video. So it is Friday, and we got a fairly hefty update coming through here for us, guys. Pretty exciting and pretty not exciting. I kind of hope for a little more for the last week of anniversary coming up, but I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think about it. They gave us some pretty big stuff in Anniversary already. So, we got Mickey and Brooms in the game now. We got Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi in the game now. And now we have a new one that came out, which everybody's looking forward to, which is HD Nomine, which we'll get into. So, we've gotten some really good things for Anniversary, and I'm not going to deny that. We also got quite a few jewels. I know that we got... I'm not sure how many free jewels, essentially, that JP got during their anniversary, but I think we got a little more global side, actually, with, like, the anniversary quest and such, overall. So we got, I think we got, and plus all the Union stuff, too. You know, we got the 6,000 free jewels, for meeting the Union Cross registration, goals and everything. So we got quite a few free jewels in the game from that kind of stuff. We got a pretty good VIP deals as well with the King, Donald, and Goofy medal, which is insanely powerful. That's been a go-to medal for a lot of people who were able to gilt that medal in the first place and get a hold of it for VIP. So that was a good deal there for a lot of people too. So we got some good stuff. This last banner though, these last events though, I'm kind of going like, you know, I kind of hope for something a little different, but it's not bad either. It's just I thought it'd be a little different, and I'm not like super disappointed by it. I'm just kind of going like, oh, it's the timing, I guess the release timing for these is a little odd for me. So if I seem a little lackluster about those, bear with me when I say that. I hit the wrong button. Yes, we're not doing this yet. We will be doing this though. Don't worry. Here we go. Notice this. So we'll go into this real quick. I'm not gonna do it in order just yet. I'm gonna go kind of from top to bottom ish, I guess. We'll see. First off, we did get new Union Cross medals here. So now we have the new setup here where we get who is that? Is 10 crossboard. So then we get the Balloon, Donald, and Goofy avatar part. So yeah, appearance is this balloon ones, which are kind of cool. I mean, they're not terrible. So there are going to be 10 boards across 4 different paths on the cross board, which is kind of cool. The first board is Balloon, Donald, and Goofy. Second path is going to be the chips, and third path will be Dale's. Fourth path will be the boards, so that's not bad. The balloons are going to give you the rare enemy perk +2, so nothing too spectacular there. This event is going to last quite a bit longer because there are 10 boards here. So it's going to go from the 28th today until the 17th of May. So that's about half a month. Well, yeah, it'll be a little over half a month we're going to get this to go in there. Because there are 10 boards, so there are a lot of things to do. My only downside to this one is I'm just like, okay, it's another Union Cross board. And these have been super, super, super time consuming. And many times tedious, unfortunately. I had great hopes for the multiplayer going through. But honestly, the multiplayer is just getting pretty tedious, and it's really tiring to do. And even though we're going to get 800 free jewels out of it, out of all the boards, which, you know, it's 800 free jewels, which is free jewels is free jewels. And we're going to get like a bunch of stuff out of it too. Like, you know, we're going to get Chippendales and some magic mirrors and everything. Going through them sometimes, it's going to be kind of hard. So I might have to do like a board every day or two just to, you know, try and cope with it. There's also the fact too that from what I've seen from some people, and for me in particular, for instance, I wasn't able to get the last board from the one that just ended because my game kept on glitching out. I tried to open up the multiplayer and get into it, and as it was loaded into multiplayer game, I kept on getting bumped out. My game would crash all the time. So I'm hoping that won't be the case with this one coming up right now, but we'll find out pretty soon, I guess. So there's that one. But, you know, I'll get into this one. I hope they do something to make multiplayer a bit more enjoyable because right now the rewards going for them are barely worth time involved in going through and doing these. So there is that. We also got the new high score challenge deal. It's for Mickey and Minnie Mouse and the Pluto B medal. It's not too terrible. It's going to be a weak one. You can get the medals through the new falling price deal, which we'll cover in a second. The medals are interesting. So let's start with Pluto B. Pluto B is magic. He's upright. He's a tier 3. He raises power-based defense by 2 tiers for 1 turn, and he moderately recovers HP. He is a AoE medal, and he costs 3. So he's not too terrible for survival Keyblade. So if you guys have problems surviving certain enemies that are power-based, this guy might be good for you, just like SP Cinderella or Cinderella and Jack, you know, or Vex and B. You know, those medals that raise your defense to help you survive more than one turn. And for those kind of bosses, for many players, that can be really useful. You know, if you're going through story mode and you need to beat that snowman or whatever, then like Vexen B and Cinderella and Jack or SP Cinderella, those medals, or Young Kyrie, those medals can help you survive the hits you need, the turns you need in order to beat it with. Then hopefully just beat it, and hopefully beat it with all the objectives completed. So for a survival-based Keyblade, that's not a bad medal. It's not terrible. And, you know, considering it's the secondary medal, it should be a lot easier to get than the main medal, of course. So, I haven't seen the high score challenge just yet, but I assume it's going to be like, you know, you're going to get that 4.1 reward top 1,000 for Mickey and Minnie, and then you get 2 more once you reach a certain score threshold. So, we'll see how that goes going there. Mickey and Minnie is interesting. It's a power medal, and this time it's upright. So, that's curious. It's pretty much the reverse of Illustrated Ansem. It's a tier 4 as well. Cost 2. Is also only a single target. It'll deal 5 hits, and it lowers the target's defense by 2 tiers for 1 turn, but the trick on it is that it inflicts more damage when set in slot 3. So that is very curious. It's definitely not one for the Mog. Illustrate Ansem fit Mog pretty well just for multiplier ways. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a curious Keyblade. It's going to fit in some oddball slots for certain things. It'll fit in Starlight. No, it won't. That's also reversed. Huh. It'll fit in Treasure Trove. I guess it's going to depend upon what its multiplier is. I mean, it is a single target, so it should have a slightly higher multiplier. It's not bad. Obviously, if you get double cast on this one, it'll be better for you. That way you're lowering it by 4 tiers in a turn, which is great. I mean, it's going to have its place. I mean, just like Illustrated Ansem. Illustrated Ansem, I didn't think much of Illustrated Ansem when I first got it. And then I started using it, and then I started seeing more situations where it was useful. In particular, like the first big dark side fight, when you had that medal pretty much carried me through that fight, which is great. So they're all going to have their slots and places and things. It's not a bad medal overall by any means. It's going to have its place in a lot of situations. It can be situational, of course, because of it is power upright and where it's going to fit in odd spots, especially when its highest damage output will be in slot 3. They make it kind of limited in terms if you want like the maximum damage out of it. But the maximum damage out of it is only really going to matter if you are able to fully gilt it, or if you're able to gilt it at all, either through Fantasia Mickey B or through getting all the rewards and ranking in the top 1,000 in the high score challenge. So, for the most part, the main thing you need to look at is it lowers target's defense by 2 tiers for 1 turn. So if you're able to get a copy or 2 of this one, it's going to help you regardless. It's going to be a good thing for you regardless because of what that thing does. So, it's not a bad one to have. It's not the one that I wanted, though, which kind of makes me surprised that we got this one before we got Oogie Boogie. And I say it now because we can get out of the... Well, first it's done here as well. I'm also not a fan, and this is really disappointing again to me by a great deal, is this right here. The medals in it are only medals from the current pull banner again, and these ones are not guaranteed. The pull banner from the Falling Prices deal, which we'll get into in more detail later on, none of them are guaranteed. There is no mercy for any of these, and the only reason I'm kind of going into this one, and I'm going to do a few pulls from it, is because of Nomine there. I want a chance to at least try and get 1 of her. I would love to get 2 of her to gilt it, because they do come 3 orb, but not a single one is guaranteed. Not even the tier 3s. Not even Lady Tremaine and Daughters or Ansem or Lucifer are guaranteed medals. They are... Hope you pull them. You know, and that's not... That in particular, for... I mean, just for like the basic boosters not being guaranteed per pull, that's not... I'm not a fan of that at all. And, you know, the more we're getting these non-mercy ones from medals like this... Oh, geez, man, it's getting pretty bad for that. For a lot of players, even myself, it's really making me not want to pull, like, a great deal. And it's also the reason I'm not going to pull too hard from this high score challenge. Number one, the medal isn't something I really, really want exactly. It's nice to have, but I'm not really going to go push really hard for it by pulling crazy amounts. I'm going to pull a bit. I already did 5 pulls earlier off camera while I was at work, and I got 2. I did 5 pulls, I got 2 of this Ventus here, which is nice. It's great. Don't get me wrong. From what I've gathered from the pull rates for these things, that's actually very good. I got very, very lucky to get that. So, but I've seen the other pull rates for these things, and they're not good. And I'm not going to go crazy for Nomine. I really want Nomine. Don't get me wrong. But she'll be available in other pulls after this banner is over for her right now. And even though she won't be dotted or anything, that's okay. You know, I can save it Fantasia Mickey Beast for her. You know, I can do other things to get a hold of her. You know, I don't need her fully guilted, you know, right off the bat like that. And I'm not going to go crazy for her. And I don't think anybody should go crazy for those ones. So I'm not a fan of this format at all, especially how no other medals are boosters at all, except for banner ones. So that kind of really sucks for this high score challenge, but it is what it is with that regard. I'll be doing the high score challenge run today as well, too, after I do this video. I'll be doing a pull video immediately after this one, so it's getting uploaded, and then I'll do a high score first time run, and we'll go from there. The next one is kind of curious, though. This is the Ventus and Magic Broom deal. This is a money trap again. It is a tempting money trap up to a point because it's only here for 3 days. So they're trying to go, hey, you know, this is only going to be here for 3 days, and you're guaranteed Magic Broom medals in each pull. You can pull 3 times from this banner per day. So nine pulls altogether, which is 2,700 jewels if you guys want to go that far. Or 27,000, sorry, 27,000 jewels. If you guys want to go for it, you're guaranteed the Illustrated Ventus, and you're guaranteed a Magic Broom. The flip side to this, even though this Ventus, and the only reason you want to do this maybe is because the Ventus is a guaranteed booster medal. So this one you're guaranteed to get a % booster medal for the high score challenge. So if you want to pull like once or twice for this one, just to get a % booster to add on there, just to rank a little higher, that might not be so bad. Especially if you end up buying the VIP, then you can add on a few more brooms to that to try and get a Fantasia Mickey B quicker, and you're also going to get a % booster to go in there. The medal itself is not too bad. He is a single target medal that you do have a chance to get boosted from this deal. But he's single target, tier 4, 3 cost. He does 13 exceptionally powerful hits, and he lowers target speed-based defense by 1 tier for 1 turn. The downside to this medal is he is already supremely outclassed, like by quite a bit. Mainly by Casual Roxas, who lowers targets AoE upright speed and lowers targets speed-based defense by 2 tiers for 1 turn. So that's already, and cost 2. So he's already outclassed by Casual Roxas. So they're trying to get you to get him out. It's already outclassed, unfortunately. Kind of sucks in that regard. But if you do manage to get this guy and you get him guilted, he might be a good MVP medal for you to use just to deal him the most damage. Bad part is he deals 13 hits, so you will lose score more than likely out of that, unfortunately. You won't get the max score out of that one. But as an easy-to-get % booster, and for a broom, if you just want to rank a little higher in the high score challenge, pulling from this deal maybe once or twice won't be so bad. But just be aware that you're not guaranteed any other tier 4s. You're guaranteed all epics, but none of them, you could only pull just him and no other epic out of them. So on the whole, unless you really need that extra % for the high score challenge, I would really avoid this deal. This isn't a good deal, even with the brooms. Brooms are in the game now. They're going to start becoming more readily available through other means. Other quests, Coliseum rewards and such, so I would not go through and pull from this deal at all. This is actually a pretty bad money trap deal, and I would avoid it. And I would call this deal actually a little... Actually, I would call this deal worse than the non-mercy aspect of the falling prices deal. So, and we'll get to that too as well, but not even the broom offsets the lack of other tier 4, tier 5s going in it and such. So, and for medal, it's already outclassed, pretty much in every category overall. So, I would avoid this one. Second one here is, and this is the most important part of it, I think, in this one, is a falling price deal. First off, this is an interesting format, and this is why it's kind of curious. The main thing for this one is this lasts for 3 weeks. Where's the time for that? We'll get that in a second. Yeah, here we go. So that's for 3 weeks. So it's going to last from the 28th all the way to the 18th. That's a 3-week campaign. So that's pretty cool. Honestly, I'm not minding that one too badly at all. The aspect of the falling price deal is it does guarantee 1 tier 4 or tier 5 medal in the pool. So that's always back. That's a great thing. But the main thing is after the 5th draw, every pull after the 5th draw is only 1,900 jewels. That is a very interesting mechanic. And I'm really curious to see how they're going to pan that out going into the future past this last week of anniversary. Because if it's here for 3 weeks altogether, I wonder if we're going to get any kind of extra like jewel VIP quest again, where we'll get like a VIP medal of some kind, and we'll get the extra 1,400 jewels in that one. And then on top of that, if we'll also get the daily jewel challenge back again, just to get more jewels to try and pull more from this one, because that puts pretty much every draw after the 5th one at 2,000, which makes them a lot more manageable to pull from things. So, and the guaranteed tier 4 and tier 5, that's not that deal. That's the only reason I like this deal, because that actually makes these deals affordable to a lot of players. After, and granted, you have to get there. You do have to get to the 5th draw, but each time you draw, it's cheaper and cheaper. So it's kind of tricky. It's not Mercy, but for new players or players who don't have a lot of money aspect for the jewels or anything, reaching that 5th draw and then going down for 3 weeks, and it's 3 weeks, so you have time to build up your inventory again, which is kind of cool. For 3 weeks, you have time to pull from this thing, and you can get a pull for under 2,000 jewels, which is that's not bad. I mean, that's really not too bad. And you have the chance, of course, to get Nomine or Roxas boosted, which gives them 1,000 more strength and defense. You also have the chance to get a boosted Ansem, Lady Tremaine, and Daughters, and Lucifer with extra 1,000 base strength. So, and of course, all the other ones are available too in there now as well. Like I said earlier, I did 5 pulls just to reach that threshold, and I did manage to pull 2 Illustrated Roxases in those 5 pulls. So I got very lucky, and I know I did. So I'm very happy with that one. So even the non-mercy aspect, which I'm not a fan of at all anymore, I used to kind of be okay with it, but after having it for so long now and really looking at it and how it's impacting the majority of players, it's really hurting the majority of players. So I'm really not a fan of the non-mercy aspect, but at least this deal does get cheaper over time and does make pulls after the 5th one manageable for a lot of players, because 2,000 is a lot easier to reach than 3,000. So the medals themselves, though, let's go bottom up to a point. Ansem, he deals 7 hits, and he inflicts a fixed amount of damage regardless of target's defense. Depending on how much that damage is, it's not really worth it per se. I'm not a fan of it for the most part, but it is what it is, and it's there, I guess, to try and guilt later on, or get up to guilt so you can just increase your Nova gauge. So there's that. Lucifer, and he's also 4 cost, so that's also pricey for that kind of thing too, in my opinion. But it depends on his multiplier. I haven't actually seen his multiplier yet, and it depends upon how much damage he does when you activate the special. So based off that, it will determine his worth going forward. But we'll... You know, I'll run a few tests later on if I manage to pull them. Like I said, none of these medals are guaranteed. You have an off chance of getting any one of these. I think I only pulled Ansem actually in those 5 pulls I did. So, you know, there's that. Lucifer is interesting though. He's a speed reversed. He raises strength by 2 tiers for 1 turn, and he lowers your defense by 2 tiers for 1 turn. So he's really situational. He's really going to only be good for those defeat a target enemy within 1 turn situations. He is, however, a 0 cost. He's only a single target, but he is a 0 cost. So if you get double cast on him, that wouldn't be too terrible in some ways. You know, up your strength by 4 for no cost, lowers your defense. But again, if you're able to defeat the enemy within 1 turn, that's not too bad. So he's situational, but out of all of these tier 3s, I think he's the most useful of them overall. Lady Tremaine and her Daughters is magic reversed. Tier 3 again too, does cost 3, is AoE, and it lowers the strength of all targets by 1 tier for 2 turns. So this is one of those ones, again, where you want to throw it onto a survival keyblade. Just anything to reduce the target's strength and to increase your defense in any way, just survive a turn or 2 if that's the situation, just get past the level. It's definitely going to be good for that one, just to get that one. And obviously, double cast on this one as well would benefit it greatly as well. As is the case with most buffers, you pretty much want double cast on your buffers. So that is pretty good. Also, it's not too bad going for there. Again, it has its place, and I'm sure it'll help a lot of players overall, just surviving those bigger bosses in order to get past the turn. So there's that. Here's where we're getting kind of curious though. Illustrated Roxas, and it does have background music, which is pretty nifty. Deals 5 hits, raises speed-based strength by 3 tiers for 1 turn, and inflicts more damage the more gauges are full. So you want him as early as possible due to that. He is a 4 cost though, and he is AoE though, so he's not too terrible overall. Little cost heavy, but then again, we now have Kingdom Hearts 2 Kairi, we have Iago, we have Chippendale. You know, we have other options now. For saving gauge and everything, so the cost isn't too onerous overall. Not too bad. And obviously, if you get a double cast on this dude, that is going to be your speed-based strength almost maxed out. You're at 6 and then cap of 7, so that's not too bad overall, guys. And plus, it's a tier 5, so not too bad. Nomine though, Nomine is the surprise to me. I did not plan on getting this one this soon. I would have thought we would have gotten Oogie Boogie before we got Nomine. It's interesting. She is a 0 cost, so again, awesome. They're reducing gauge cost and everything. And she unleashes the same special attack as the next medal. It works only when set before a medal. So the note there says fails if used as a friend medal or if no medal is set afterward. So this medal cannot be shared and useful, unfortunately. Unless you have a crazy setup for the high score challenge and you don't need a friend medal to mop up the enemies in there. You don't want to share her because she won't benefit from anything, obviously. This medal, oh, she is going to be very, very interesting and very, very useful. Especially if you're able to guilt her. This is a medal where you, I mean, even if you don't get traits on her, you definitely want to use Mickey and Brooms on this one to get it guilted as fast as possible because she copies the medal directly after her. So one of the most prime examples for a lot of players is going to be on the Divine Rose. You could put her on the 4th slot there, which is the last magic upright slot. And then she will copy whatever medal you have there for whatever medal you have there for your 5th slot on reverse, on the 3.0 reverse slot. So make note, she doesn't copy the multiplier and strength and everything of that medal. She only copies their special. So for instance, if you have a lot of people have World of Final Fantasy Sephiroth on the end slot or Zigbar B on the end slot. So if you activate her, the multiplier that she's on and her own stats are what determine her strength, but she will copy the ability of the medal after her. So if you have Waffle Sephiroth, then you are going to have her deal the 3 hits and reduce PSM defense by 1 tier for 2 turns on the enemy, or on the enemies, right there, which is super useful. And then you can activate Sephiroth and he'll be stronger as well going through it because you have more defense lowered, obviously. So she's very, very good for that one. In particular, also, she's good for copying a friend medal if needed. So on the Starlight, for instance, if you have a friend medal that's amazing, she can copy that medal and utilize that effect, which would be very useful. She's also pretty tricky, too, because if you use her, like, say, for instance, you're going through crowd mode, for instance. That's a good example, crowd mode. And you're on an area where you can only use single target medals because she is a single target medal. Then that means she can utilize the AoE version of it. So if you put Sephi Waff on the back end, if you're on the Divine Rose and you're running that in the Proud mode, and you can only use single target medals, and you can't activate Sephi Waff special because he's an AoE, you can activate Nomine, and it will hit all opponents at a 0 cost because she copies the medal. Technically speaking, she's still a single target, but she copies the medal, and so it'll hit everything. So that's a way around some of those restrictions for things like Proud Quest and such. So she's a very powerful medal, super useful. The chances of pulling her are kind of low, unfortunately. I'm hoping to get at least one of her. We'll see. We'll see. But these are the things that we got today, guys. These are all the updates. So the falling price deal on the whole, I actually don't mind too much because number one, it lasts for 3 weeks, so you have time to get to that threshold where the pulls are only 2,000, and having a 2,000 or under 2,000 pull with a guaranteed 4 or 5 tier medal guaranteed in it, that's worth it. That's very useful. I don't mind that. I like that kind of aspect. That's a neat aspect to add into it, and that's not a bad thing to add in, I guess, as an ending anniversary deal. So it's not too bad. So like I said, I already did my 5 pulls earlier to reach that threshold. After this video uploads, I will be doing my pull video for you guys. And I'm probably going to... I don't know. I might pull 10 or 15 times, maybe, from this banner at this point. Because right now, I am at 80,000 jewels. So I might pull until I reach like 6,000, maybe. Something like that. I don't know. Because like I said, I'm not going to go crazy on this banner because... It's not mercied. It's not a guaranteed medal, and the high score challenge, while it's good and everything, the rewards for high score challenge don't really entice me to go crazy. Like if it was Oogie Boogie, I would probably pull and waste last of my jewels there until I was able to get Nomine and such. But I don't have that aspect in this one, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. So we'll see what I get within those pulls, and it's coming up. Let me know what you guys think about the pulls, though, or about the updates of what we got, and about if you guys like this falling price format. Because, like I said, I know you're not guaranteed mercies, and that sucks, and I don't like that. but I do like how it does make everything after 5 pulls under 2,000 joules, and it is here for 3 weeks, so people will have time to actually utilize that joule discount on the pulls. So on the whole, I don't mind this format too bad at all. I actually think this format is actually pretty. Overall, I think this format is pretty fair because it's gonna give everybody a chance to do some pulls and get guaranteed tier 4 and tier 5s. And for people who don't pull very often or anything, that could be very useful and let you guys get some resources to help you guys progress further in the game. So on the whole, I don't mind it too badly, minus the non-mercy aspect. Like I said, the Ventus Magic Broom deal is garbage. It is the Ventus Magic Broom deal is absolute 100% amazing garbage and a attempted money trap. And I really don't suggest pulling from that deal unless you really just want a guaranteed percent buffer or booster for the high score challenge. You know, if you guys were able to pull for Illustrated Ansem and you guys want to get at least try and get a copy or so of Mickey and Minnie just for that defense down medal, maybe pull once or twice in that regard. But outside of that, and even then, don't pull from that deal, please. That's just a bad deal. Like I said, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the current updates we got. Let me know if you guys agree with me or disagree with me on the falling price deal and its format. Minus the non-mercy aspect, not too bad. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Best of luck on your pulls if you guys choose a pull. And in about, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes or so, I'm going to have my pull video up. And then we'll start running the high score challenge, so we'll see how it goes. So I hope you guys look forward to the video to come as well, too. So you guys take care. Have a great night.